Paula White, and this is my first picture book, The Baker by the Sea, published by Templar Books. I'm really pleased to be shortlisted for the Klaus Flugge Prize 2023, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the book and about where my ideas come from. The story is about a young boy who lives in a seaside fishing village, and as he watches all the hard work and people go about their day, he comes to realise that he wants to be a really brave fisherman who goes to sea. And with his father being the baker, he doesn't see this as the most exciting job, but he slowly realises that everybody's role is important, and especially his father's role as the baker, who keeps everyone happy and fed. It all began when I was on the MA Children's Book Illustration course at the Cambridge School of Art, and I became interested in my hometown's rich fishing heritage. And I also discovered that I come from a long line of fishermen, and my great-granddad used to be a skipper on the fishing boats. I also discovered that Lowestoft had an old beach village where everybody involved in the fishing trade, they worked and they lived, and it was like a whole community, a real special place to live. I wanted to find out about the everyday lives of these people, how they lived, how they worked, and what their front room or what their kitchen looked like, so I guess I was hooked. If you were a boy in Lowestoft, you were expected to go to sea with your father, your cousins, your brothers, your uncles, but my poor old granddad, they took him to sea twice, and both times he was as sick as a dog, so I think by then he knew that a fishing way of life wasn't for him, so he became a baker instead. The story, it's very close to my heart, as I wanted to explore and celebrate an old way of life where everyone's role was important, not just the brave fisherman who went to sea. A place where everyone, including the baker, worked together to support each other. Sadly, the fishing village is no longer here, so I'm somebody who likes to draw from observation as much as I can, but it made it a bit difficult when there's no village there to actually draw. So I visited the old site where a few of the original buildings still survive, and I sketched them in all weathers at different times of the day to try and soak up the atmosphere and to try and imagine myself there amongst the little streets. I looked at old photos, I interviewed people who used to live there, and I also discovered that we've got a scale model of the whole village in our local heritage centre, and when I saw it for the first time it actually made me cry. And I sketched this model many times in different lights from different angles, and I also made my own tiny little houses out of cardboard and clay, which I then sketched in different positions and different light. I think this helped me to build up a picture of the village in my mind so that I had the confidence to draw freely, and I used to use my poor old dad lots of times as a model if I was finding it hard to draw any of the fishermen. I like to work in my sketchbook, but when I'm at the planning stage I use A3 copier paper to storyboard ideas and to plan spreads. I use thumbnails to plan layouts and text placement, and around this time I may make a rough dummy book, and this helps me to tell the story, to turn the page, to feel the pace, and these ideas, they all change and evolve over time as well. When I find some roughs that I'm actually happy with, I might put them into my big old clunky photocopier, and I explore scale and composition quickly, and I use old-fashioned scissors and glue to cut and paste ideas until I come up with layouts that I'm happy with or that show potential. All the artwork for The Baker by the Sea was done in my sketchbook, as I find large sheets of clean white paper quite scary and daunting, so I feel much more comfortable working in my sketchbook. The final artwork was made using pencil, as I think it sort of felt honest and true to me, and I think it reflected the beach village and its people well, because they were sort of honest and true and hardworking. Having lived by the sea all my life, here in Lowestoft we have really big open skies and watery horizons, and I think the colour palette I used in my illustrations, it's so familiar and local to me, and it maybe came natural with the muted blues and greys, I think, which helped to evoke a time and a place. I used ink wash to add softness and atmosphere, and I think when combined with pencil line it also helped to portray that sweepy windy weather. I have a few old run-out felt tip pens that are precious to me. I use them to add extra softness to the clouds and smoke to give them that extra fluffiness. And I saved a palette of warm yellows for special areas where I wanted to illustrate the warm glow from the oven or the warm cosy glow from inside a house. I hand draw all my artwork and only use Photoshop to clean off fluff and blemishes, and I was lucky enough to send all the original artwork off to Templar, where the art director was able to do all the necessary computer bits. When it came to actually writing the story, it wasn't something that I thought that would come easy to me, but I think that finding that special personal connection, it actually helped me to write, and I just wanted to tell the story of such a unique and special place and a time, and my granddad Percy, of course. I'd just like to say another thank you to the Klaus Flugge team, and a big thank you to the team at Templar for making this book come true, and also good luck to all the other shortlisters.